Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let us go into chapter 4.6, integrating trigonometric functions. Okay, there are a few formulas given in our formula list, such that secant square, integrating. Okay, so we do know that integration is the entire derivative. For example, if you are to differentiate sine, you get cosine. So hence, when you are integrating cosine, you will get sine. However, in this chapter, we will learn on the powers of the sine, okay, and cosine. And number 2, the product of the sine multiplying by the cosine with a similar angle. Okay, this number 3 there, sine of mx, okay, a double angle or triple angle is no more in our math 3 syllabus, so we are going to skip them. And then we are to cover the integral of the powers of tangent and secant, okay, what is not given in our formula list. And last, we are to look at the product of tangent and secant with the similar angle. So I divide this topic into 4 parts. Okay. So given in our workbook, page 240, there is a simple guideline. It says, okay, I'm rewriting it back. If both sine and cosine have even power and the angle, the half angle identities are useful. Here, the half angle is this formula. This formula is actually taken from our formula list given on the identity. And if you have either sine or cosine has the odd power, power 3 or power 5, okay, split the odd power, okay, the one with the odd power, and then use Pythagorean identity. Okay, let me show to you on this formula given in our formula list. So looking into your formula list, this is the double angle or the half angle, if we make it as a cosine A. Okay, so we are rearranging it to read the half angle of from 2A there. So as we rearranging it, cosine square A is cosine 2A plus 1 on 2. Okay. And then the other part that we will be playing for the sine power 2, sine of the even power. So sine power 2A is rearranging thus. You will get 1 minus cosine 2A on 2. As well as the Pythagorean identity. So basically the formulas are given. Alright, so let's go into it. Let's look at the examples. So let us start, okay, with integrating powers of sine and cosine, like this one. Alright, okay. So the guideline says that, okay, such that if you have the even power like this, okay, consider to use the formula of half angle. This formula. Let's get the formula just now. So this is a formula, double angle or half angle formula. As we are rearranging it, okay, playing with the cosine with a power even number, so we have cosine 2A plus 1 on 2, okay, or if we have, let's say, sine with a even power, we rearranging it, so it is 1 minus cosine 2A on 2, right? So here we have an even power. Okay, so you have to change into this form first. So I bring to you this now, the formula. So whenever we have a trigo cosine with a even power, change first into the double angle formula. Okay, 1 plus cosine 2x on 2. And then after this, this is 1 on 2, you can bring it in front. So now it's easy for you to integrate. Okay, So for the integral of a 1 half here, we can just put it outside. So basically you are just to integrate 1 dx, and then you can split it because of the plus, and then you are to integrate cosine 2x. And here you might want to use a simple u substitution. Okay, so for this portion we can integrate straight away. Let's answer it. So we get x. But for this portion, maybe we change it first into a simple u, okay, by using a simple u substitution. For example, let u be 2x. Change everything in terms of u. So we need du dx. Differentiate, we get 2. So hence dx is du on 2. Okay, so as we change everything in terms of a 1 variable, because you cannot integrate straight away with the cosine 2x. So here this portion now will become 1 on 2. You can put the 1 on 2 in front. Okay, and you have cosine dx is being du. This thing is u, sorry. So dx is du on 2. I put the 2 in front. Okay, so for the integral of a cosine, it is given to us in our formula list. Okay, before we can get to that answer. So here again, x plus 1 on 2. Look into your formula list. Integral of the cosine u is sine u. And u, we replace it back, okay, later. Right, so hence, we get that as we expand it, it becomes 1 on 2x plus 1 on 2 times 1 on 2, 1 on 4. Sine u, what is u? U is 2x. So that is the way on integrating a cosine power even number. So given in your workbook reduction formula, but for our syllabus, we cannot use this reduction formula. Okay, the formula is not given and you cannot use it for you to get to the answer. Okay, so we have to use a long way for it. Yeah. So there are 2 questions that are given. Let's do it. Okay, question number 1. Let's do it together. Okay, before we play with the trigo power odd number, let us try this one question with the even power. Okay, here I took from your workbook, exercise 4.6, page 247. Question number 2. Let's do it together. I would like to do it together with you. Alright, so and then here we have the definite integral. Okay, so how to do it? 8, we can put the 8 outside, okay, up front. Whenever you have a constant, you can just put it in front. Right, so we have 8 and we have 0 to pi. And how do we integrate sine power, sine t power? You can also write it down like this, power 4 of variable dt. Okay, so the technique here is, how can we do that? Let's simplify it into a simpler version. We do need to have 8 in the form of this thing. Okay, so how to do it? Okay. Help me, yeah? So the technique is we split it into sine square so that we can use this, right? And then use this identity, we change it into double angle, okay? And then multiply. So this is 2 times 2, we take it out. And then we have with this 1 minus cosine 2t. And using a formula to expand a minus b square. Okay, a square minus 2ab plus b square. Right, so we expand further. And because of the plus minus, meaning you can integrate term by term. So I'm separating the integral there. Okay. So then we can integrate, right? And for how to integrate, well, let me leave it to you. Everybody try to integrate. As for this portion, change it first into this form. Okay, cosine square, which is cosine, our angle is 2t, cosine of 2 of our 2t plus 1 over 2. okay, with respect to dt. And yeah, we can split further this portion, okay, such that for this portion, for this part, it becomes, as you split, it becomes cosine 40 on 2. We can bring out in front the 2, and then this is integrate 1 on 2, okay, or 1 on 2 again, you can take it out, so that it becomes integral of 1 dt. For this portion, maybe you have to use a simple u substitution for it. So I'm separating it, okay. So this is dt plus, and here again you do need to use a simple u substitution like this one to solve it, okay. Or maybe if I am to bring inside the 4, don't bring inside 4, okay. So why don't you try it first? Let me give you 5 minutes to solve this integral of 1, integral of cosine 2t, use a simple u substitution, change everything in terms of a u. And for this portion, we have used this, and we can split further. So half, integrate this, again use a simple u substitution, and integrate this thing as well. Right, why don't you pause the video and try to integrate, okay. Let me give you about 3 minutes. Alright, check to my work. I made a mistake here. 8 on 4 is actually 2. Right, this is correct. And we can separate them. But for this portion, the integral of a cosine 2t, we need to use a simple u substitution. As for this part, we need to use the double angle formula. Okay, so this one. Alright, and such that we can separate them. So it's half of this thing, plus we separate them, right? And then we integrate further. For this cosine 40, I'm using a simple u substitution. Substitute everything in terms of dy. Okay. And then we are to integrate cosine is sine. Replace back the u, here is 2t. Integrating cosine, we got sine. Replace back the y, which is 40. And this is half t. And I put back the boundary, 0 to pi. Alright, and then we can see that there's a t and half t, so we simplify. Okay, we got that. Alright. Okay, then we are to replace the t with a pi. Okay, minus replace the t with 0. Okay, everything is 0. Alright, it's easy. And if my calculation is correct, the last answer is 3 pi. Alright. So let's mark this paper. A question like this, how many marks will it carry? First, you have to split, okay, M1, and then you are supposed to use the half angle formula. Sometimes we call it as the double angle formula, right? And then we got this. We also to separate, okay, term by term. And again, we are using this half angle formula for the double angle, like the above just now. Okay, M1. But here we are to use a simple u substitution for both u substitution. Okay, the u substitution technique here is similar to the above. Okay, we don't want to give a mark for that. And then we get this for the answer. Okay, before we replace the boundary. And then as we replace the boundary, make sure that you show it and your final answer. So a question like this can carry 7 or 8 marks. What if you do not show your work? Definitely M0, automatically A0. Be very careful for that. Do not use an apps. Make sure that you show step-by-step work. Alright.